All right, in this explainer, we're going to uncover the surprising science behind why doing something uncomfortable on purpose, like taking a cold plunge or doing a really tough workout, can actually make you feel good, and in a way that lasts. So, we're about to challenge a pretty big assumption most of us have about happiness. It really all boils down to this one counterintuitive idea in your brain's chemistry that once you get it, well, it can feel like a superpower. Okay, to really understand why this works, we need a super quick recap of a core concept we've been talking about: the pleasure-pain balance. Your brain processes both of these in the same place, and they work just like a seesaw.
So when you do something that feels good instantly, scrolling through your phone, eating a bunch of junk food, your brain releases a flood of dopamine. And bam, the pleasure side of that scale slams down and you feel that awesome rush. But see, your brain is obsessed with balance. It wants to get back to neutral. So it sends out what we've been calling gremlins to hop on the pain side of the scale. And they don't just level it out, they go overboard, pushing you into a dopamine deficit. And that feels awful, like anxiety, irritability, and just craving more of that first thing.
Okay, but here's where we get to flip this whole thing on its head. We've been talking about these gremlins like they're the bad guys, right? But what if you could actually get them to work for you?
This right here is the secret. Instead of starting with an easy pleasure, you start with something hard. Think about it: a tough workout, an ice bath, maybe even just finally tackling that difficult project you've been putting off. You are deliberately, intentionally pressing down on the pain side of the scale.
And by embracing that discomfort up front, you trigger the brain's exact same rebalancing act, but it's going in the opposite direction. To level the scale from the side of pain, what do the gremlins have to do? They have no choice but to start piling onto the pleasure side.
So you see what's happening? Instead of getting pleasure now and paying for it with pain later, you pay the price up front with effort. The real reward isn't even the activity itself. It's the powerful, long-lasting dopamine that comes afterward, as your brain works to bring you back into balance.
And this whole process builds a much more resilient, healthier kind of dopamine. This isn't just a cool theory, we can actually see the proof in human studies.
Research on exercise shows this perfectly. Unlike that sharp spike and crash you get from, say, a candy bar, the dopamine from exercise builds up slowly and steadily. And the best part? Afterwards, it stays elevated for hours and then gently comes back to your normal level without ever crashing below it. We can call this clean dopamine. It's the kind of motivation and reward that doesn't come with all those nasty side effects like withdrawal or craving, that whole addictive cycle we see with easy pleasures. It's dopamine that you've earned.
I mean, the difference here is just night and day. On one side, you have this volatile spike and then a painful crash. On the other, you have a sustained, clean burn of motivation. One traps you and the other genuinely lifts you up.
Now, this pain-first mechanism has a really powerful feature just built right into it. It naturally protects you from addiction.
Just think about it for a second. It's pretty darn hard to get addicted to taking ice baths or running ultramarathons, right? And why is that? Because the upfront cost, the effort, is just too high. Unlike just clicking a button for an instant hit, the difficulty itself stops you from doing it compulsively.
And we're seeing this play out in the real world. From 1996 to 2008, participation in ultramarathons, we're talking races longer than a marathon, shot up by a staggering 1,676%. People are actively looking for extreme discomfort.
This is not a coincidence. The rise of things like ice baths and intense obstacle course races, it might just be our collective, unconscious attempt to find some balance in a world that offers way too much easy pleasure. We're sort of intuitively figuring out that we need to press on the pain side to actually feel good again.
So this brings us full circle. By understanding this inverse principle, we can totally transform how we see that internal battle in our brains. It's not something that works against us, it can actually become a powerful tool.
So remember those gremlins we talked about? That hidden force in your brain that can trap you in that miserable cycle of always wanting more? Well, the game has completely changed. Because you understand this inverse principle, you now have the knowledge to turn that biological mechanism from a liability into a huge asset. You can literally make those gremlins work for your own well-being.
Look, this is a fundamental shift in how we can approach our own motivation. And if you want to learn the practical ways to do this, how to actually use cold, heat, and effort to master your own dopamine, then join us tomorrow as our next series begins.